What we're going to be talking about today are different techniques that you can use for your game. Now, we're going to go from worst to best. So I imagine I'm going to start off this video pissing off a good portion of you guys. For that, good luck. This is more my opinion, but it is an educated opinion. I've worked for multiple companies. I've been doing this for 12 years coming up on. Been approaching girls. I'm pretty good at what I do. I've taken notes and I've done each of these techniques so repeatedly that I understand them through and through. So this isn't just guesstimate. This is me actually understanding the concepts that I'm talking about and the techniques that I'll be bringing forth to you guys. Now, if you guys have a different technique that you guys want me to talk about, leave in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, that being said, let's get into it. So I divided this up into two different sections. The top one is obviously effective, the ones that are very good at getting results. Now, I'll put it this way. There's no one singular technique that's going to ever get you the results with the women that you're looking for. They can be, you can base an entire game style off of off of a different type of technique, off of a different kind of style, off of a method. But for the most part, it always comes back to the fundamentals. If you do not have the fundamentals of being a charismatic guy, you're not going to get girls. None of these techniques are going to get you that by itself. Some of them can help, some of them are very effective, but for the most part, you still need to have the fundamentals in place for any technique to even work. Now, the bottom ones are misinterpreted or useless. Now, there's been so many different coaches throughout the years of the community, of the seduction community, of the dating coach community for men that have come forth with different strategies. Some of them are pretty crap, and some of them are useful to an extent, or they were used by a certain coach, a certain YouTuber, and they became pretty popular. And people started trying them out, and they were not working for the people. But it came from this misunderstanding of the technique itself and why the person was actually doing it, which, to be fair, it was actually the coach's fault every time this was coming about. Every time there was a concept or a technique that people were using ineffectively, it's because the coach didn't do a good enough job of explaining what the technique was or why he did it, even if he had the self-awareness of why he was doing it. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's break into it. All right, so let's start at the very bottom. Hard stops. Now, you guys will do these hard stops and you will stand there stock still and try to get the girl to talk to you. You approach her and you just stop. Hey, I saw you from over there and I had to come here to say hi to you. What's your name? This is a super inflexible strategy and I still don't know why anybody would ever rationalize doing it. I understand a couple different ideas because I did this a lot when I was younger. So I get it. Supposedly it's supposed to help out because it makes you it's very punchy. So it's good with like 6s and 7s because they're not used to somebody being this direct. However, if you want to like get those 8s, 9s, 10s, those really gorgeous girls, this strategy is too inflexible. If you are going to do a hard stop, a lot of you guys need to do roll-offs. So if the girl continues to walk, pivot, walk with. Don't just stand there being confused about how she didn't stop for you. It's ridiculous. You guys are getting egos about this. Just turn and walk with. Girls don't know if they initially like you. Girls are not as attracted to the looks as we are. They care a lot about your character, your personality, your charisma, your sense of entitlement, your sense of value in yourself in comparison to her. If you are standing there and confused that she didn't want to stop for you because maybe you think it's because it's all about looks or whatever you think it's about, you are not listening to my videos, you're not taking my advice or even trying it out. At least try this out. What you're going to find is on occasion, you'll actually be able to flip girls. You'll just be charismatic, funny, free. A girl doesn't know she likes you in the first 5 seconds of talking to you, usually. Sometimes they do, but for the most part, not really. So you gotta give her some time to warm up to you, build comfort, build attraction, and then guess what? Now she pops open, now she's willing to really talk to you. But what if the girl did find you attractive, but she's in a rush going somewhere, and then you try to hard stop her? Of course, she's a girl, she's gonna walk by you and keep going. She has selection in men. Up front, women have a lot of selection in men. So she's not gonna necessarily have so much investment in you up front. Girls more have investment on the back end. Guys have a lot more investment on the front end. And then as you guys start dating, you guys start messing around, you guys start a relationship, then the dynamic flips, and then the girl's more invested in the guy. That's how this relationship structure should work. So when you try to hard stop a girl, chances are it's not gonna go that great. So please stop doing it. And if you are gonna do it, at least have some flexibility with it. Don't just stand there like an idiot watching the girl walk by. Peacocking. Again, I'm somebody that, if you can't tell, I dress very flamboyantly. It's not because I'm peacocking, to be fair. It's because I like the style. I also like how cocky it makes me feel, because action feeds ego, and sometimes it's like putting on a costume. I'm putting on a costume so I can go talk to girls. Because it's me stepping into a character, so I can go out and do it. Not to mention, if I ever mess around with a girl, I'm a very unique looking person, and I do it in a very clean way. So the girl is gonna see me and say, this guy's a very outgoing guy. And because I have a different look, now I'm also unique. So then the girl's gonna be able to put me in her own box, in its own frame. So that's why I dress like this. But peacocking, the idea behind it is that you're going to dress flamboyantly. By you dressing flamboyantly, it's an indication that you're confident, cocky, and yes, it does, but it can also, unfortunately, for most of the guys that use this technique, makes you look autistic, because it makes you look like you are not in the know or understand fashion in general, or understand what makes somebody look a certain way. If you are not socially intelligent yet, and you guys try a strategy like peacocking, it's not going to look good for you. Honestly, you can force it with good charisma and technique. With being a cool guy, you can make anything really work. But if you are not that person yet and you try peacocking, it's going to make you look autistic, and it's going to scare the girls, and it's actually going to make you have a really bad upfront. So if you guys are not charismatic yet, don't try it. And honestly, it's not that great a technique. It's a very, if anything, it can get you approached on occasion if you're in the zone and you are one of those guys. But to be fair, it's like a 0.05% fix in your game. Like, it's not even worth like putting the effort into. Okay, opinion openers. Opinion openers can work. Don't get me wrong. I've worked with them a lot in the past, but I've seen a lot of you guys will use this as an excuse to not flirt with the girl because you're afraid of getting the rejection. That's stupid. You guys are afraid of being direct, because if you're direct, now she can actually reject you. Now you're putting your real self out there. And if you are having this thing where you're using opinion openers to stop yourself from actually connecting with people, stop it. If you're having a hard enough time approaching, that's fine, do an opinion opener for a while, but you should start doing direct game for a while. Get used to being direct. Now, once you get a little bit better at this and you get more charismatic, now you can use an opinion opener, but with the right tonality that makes you sexy. So, tell me this. Have you ever fallen madly in love with a guy? Now it's like the cocky energy, it's the pauses, it's the dead eye contact, that laser eye contact. I'm speaking from my base, I'm speaking from my chest. I'm not doing it in like, hey, I have a question. And it's, just building rapport, not having any pauses, not speaking with definity. You are just using it as an excuse. Hand of God. So this one's actually more just an overarching thing. There was a big problem with when Julian was more prevalent, the RSD crew. They started doing all these techniques, hand of God, calling girls dog, hardcore push-pull, I love you, I hate you style stuff. But you guys always came from the wrong mentality. You guys looked at this as the fundamentals when they weren't. You guys also did this, because by the way, I did this too. When I did this, I was scaring the crap out of girls, and I had to learn social acuity. So you guys will do this kind of stuff. You'd be like, hand to God, and you like do like this, and you're like, it's the technique, do the hand. But it's like, it's supposed to be playful. It's supposed to be teasing, like just messing with her, just teasing around, like being loose with it. Like the whole reason they even did it was because they thought it was funny, not because it was a technique. It was more just fun. I remember I used to walk up to girls and just start yelling dog like an idiot. And it wasn't coming from the right mentality. It's supposed to come from this fun place where I'm teasing around and the girl's in on a joke. I'm just messing around. I'm not really being that guy. But I'm also like, when they're doing it too, they're being definitive. They're saying, this is me and I'm unapologetic. And that's what really turns on those really high quality hot girls, because he's punching through the wall. That's what makes it work. If you're doing it like 6s and 7s and like 8s, like it's not going to work that well, to be fair. And also too, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, you're doing it for some manipulative reasons instead of doing it with freedom of outcome plus a lot of fun, you're doing it to make a joke. To be fair, and if you guys do this kind of stuff, you guys could if you guys get to that headspace where you guys actually are capable of doing something like this, you should actually just come up with funny stuff you find yourself. Because the only reason they did this was for self-amusement oftentimes. Like, hand of God is good if they're in a situation where they're surrounded by other people, because then what's the girl do? She puts her hand in your hand. She was the one that said yes. It's a very visual yes. So then the friends can't jump in and be like, no, wait. So it stops cock blocking, but it's not that great a technique. And if you guys are doing it for the wrong reasons, it won't work. right, now we're gonna get into some little bit better ones that I like. Actually, I don't think it's by this point. I think these ones I'm neutral with more. Neutral, but it's also bad too, for the same reasons as the one below this were. So here's the reason why. You guys DHV piss poorly. You guys think you guys are doing all these techniques and stuff, but you sound like you're disingenuous. You guys also are being too obvious. You're like the guy trying to show the girl his Rolex. You're like a guy trying to show her how many followers you have on Instagram. You're that guy that is, I have all these girls around me. Girls are always just chasing me, but you guys are not hiding it properly. If you guys really want to DHV, there's a way to do it that's effective, but you're not doing it. To be fair, actually, most of you guys should be actually DLVing in a jokey way. Be like, nah, I'm so shy. No, I'm shy. It's okay. It's all right. No, I know. I approached you. No, it's catch-22. It's I'm so shy. It's two negatives make a positive. So, like, I'm teasing around. I'm riffing right now. But the idea is like I'm teasing with it. If you guys are DHVing, unless you guys are doing it in the same jokey way that I would DLV, I wouldn't double down on it. It's not something that you guys should subscribe to. It's stupid. I mean, it can work and it does work, but you have to really do it very almost like a surgeon, because there's no other way of doing it where most of you guys are not socially intelligent oftentimes. If you guys are like even thinking about DHVs, if you even worry about DHVs, you're probably not socially intelligent yet to even use a DHV, to be fair. Oh, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, DHV is a demonstration of higher value. So it's demonstrating that I'm a high value person, basically just trying to brag without bragging. DLV is a demonstration of lower value, which means that I'm trying to show you that I'm low value in a joking way. That's the way I do it. So I just mess around. Negging. This actually can also be an effective strategy, but you guys don't know when to use it or why to use it. And to be fair too, I don't like negging personally. I think it's a little bit sociopathic. And I'll put it this way. It works for narcissists that are really hot. So really hot narcissists, it works for. But if you're doing it to some sweet average girl, she's not going to receive it very well. She's not going to start chasing it. It's usually for girls that are heavy narcissists, because you're now taking something away and they want it back. So they'll start chasing you for that thing you took away, because they need that sense of reality that they're awesome, that they're dope. Because otherwise, for a narcissist is either a god or they're a worm. And if you take away this, they're no longer gods, they're a worm. So now they need you to give them validation again, give them back their sense of reality that they're awesome, because they need to be awesome. And the way you do it too is, again, it's another way of hiding it. Don't make it so obvious. If you guys are doing like old mystery method style stuff, and you guys also, again, are lacking the social acuity to actually deliver something like this, don't do it. And to be fair, don't do it at all. It is sociopathic. It's not something I really subscribe to. Time constraints. So now we're getting into more. So the next two tiers up are all pretty effective and something that you guys could try on an occasion. But again, remember this. Fundamentals always play a big role in this. Being a cool, authentic, fun guy that's empathetic is better than all. And having boundaries. Being a guy that has boundaries, that has both the monster in him and the saint. You're both. You can be either person. You're flexible. You can be loud, you can be quiet, you can give people eye contact, you can take it away. You can be a loving, caring person, but then sometimes you can stand up for yourself. So that's big. But these are also fun too, and they actually can be effective in the right situations. Time constraints. So this basically is when you talk to a girl, sometimes the girl doesn't, again, know she likes you yet. She wants to experience you first. And once she experiences you, then guess what happens? She starts getting turned on by you. She starts finding you attractive. Then usually they backwards rationalize, find you attractive the entire time, which, we both know is not true. So time constraints goes like this. You walk up, blah, blah, blah. Well, here, I only have 5 seconds to talk, but where are you from? So now you say, I only have 5 seconds to talk. I got to get going here pretty soon. So now the girl's not in her head to be like, wait, how long is she going to be standing here for? Oh no, blah, blah, blah. And she starts overthinking that. Instead, now she can be present and listen to you. It takes the pressure off so she can actually receive you. Push-pull. Push-pull is a strategy that actually is very, I think the word is Pavlovian. It's basically, I'll give you it and I take it away. I give it to you and I take it away. I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you. Which, to be fair, there's a form of this that actually does resemble trauma bonding, which it's a very, you got to really watch it if you're going to be manipulative with this. You can slam people against the walls if they're narcissists or codependents, and it's not healthy to do. But naturally, most people actually will push-pull. If you're somebody that's being authentic with others, usually you naturally just push-pull. But if you really want to push this is a very effective strategy, to be fair. It's something that does work. I'm not gonna lie, it does work. If somebody is very healthy-minded though, usually they'll catch on to it if you don't do it subtly enough, but it's a great strategy. So you give them what they want, you take it away. I'm into you, I'm not. I'm into you, I'm not. And you do it in subtle ways. You can do it like body-wise, you can do it facial-wise. You can look away and look distracted while she's talking. You pull out your phone, start texting on your phone. Those are both pushes. You can say, you know what? You're actually kind of cool. And you just like give her that look and you give her that energy and she's like, oh, really? Oh, he really thinks that I'm awesome. So it's like the push and the pull. And one highlights the other. So what's funny is if you gave this girl nothing but push, the girl would be disinterested because like, why would I want to go for somebody that's not into me? Like this person's too high value and this person's just gonna honestly curb stop my feelings, so I'm gonna walk. Then if you do too much pull, this guy's too easy, this guy's lower value than me, I'm not interested. So a girl wants somebody in their ballpark. You're not too attractive and not too little. So it's this funny way of, and it's funny too, the pull highlights the push. The push also highlights the pull. So the more that you give her like the I love yous, it's highlighted by the I hate yous. If all you did was I love you, it's like there's no baseline. But now because you're showing the depth of the validation, now the highs are highlighted by the lows, which is what trauma bonding is, which is why, again, this is a very nuanced strategy, and at a certain point it can get very manipulative, so just be really careful with it. Statements of empathy. Now, speaking of empathy, this is actually something that's oftentimes also misinterpreted by mainstream culture. Basically, you're just bringing up the fact that understanding your emotions and verbalizing you understand her emotions so you don't look autistic. So you look like somebody that's actually there receiving her. You actually seem like somebody that is trying to connect with her as a person. So I wouldn't say seem. You should honestly do statements of empathy and teach yourself to really, truly care. If you're not one of those empathetic people, it's oftentimes because you're probably repressed and you just don't have that in you yet. But as you get better at this and you get better with women, usually you start becoming a lot more empathetic, and it's something you can work on as a muscle. I would find myself looking at babies in strollers, awing at them. I see a cute couple, I'm like, oh, they're super cute. I see somebody doing something for another and I feel warmth towards them. And I taught myself to feel that way. So whenever I do a statement of empathy, I do it authentically. I mean it. And it actually makes the statement of empathy hit harder for those guys that are more Machiavellian. If you actually truly are empathetic, when you actually give empathetic statements, guess what? People will feel the empathy, especially women, because they're very good at reading social cues. They're very good at this. Women are very good at sensing that slight something's off energy, which comes across as creepy. So if you want to do a statement of empathy, try to teach yourself to really feel the energy. Now, these next ones, you can actually, I'm not gonna say any one of them you can create completely a style upon, but oftentimes these ones, you can even develop your own style of game off of these three. There's more than this, obviously, but this is just a few three that are pretty powerful as techniques by themselves. And I've known a lot of guys who base their entire game on these three. Like their entire game, their entire strategy of game is based on this. But again, they don't work unless you're a cool, authentic guy. If you're not a cool, authentic guy, none of this will work. So come back to the fundamentals always. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Canned lines. So everybody has canned lines. People ask each other about how's the weather? That's a canned line. People will say, how's it going? Having a nice day? That's a canned line. What are you doing? That's a canned line. They're all canned lines. But what we do in our community is that we find canned lines that are powerful and get the effect that we want, that get the energy, make somebody laugh. So a canned line that I know can classically make a girl laugh, I say it, makes a girl laugh, the girl feels good emotions, and now it's a canned line. It's something that I pulled out of my ass. It's not something that I just say. And it's also something to fall back on when you're not really feeling in the zone. I don't always feel in the zone, and nobody does. Everybody has fluctuations in their emotions and their state. And then I can always fall back on my canned lines. I know the canned lines. And sometimes you can even use canned lines from when you're in state and you start using them. And by using them, you actually will push yourself into the zone because action feeds ego. It's something you would say when you're in the zone. So it pops you into the zone and pops you into state. And now let's say somebody throws something at you like a left hook. They throw a left hook at you. Now, you know the response because you've had this happen so many times. You know the canned line for it and you throw it over your shoulder. Maybe a girl's giving you a harsh rejection, and instead of you feeling at the mercy of the girl being rude to you, now you have a response prepared and planned. So when the girl says this, you can still come out on top feeling powerful as opposed to feeling weak and demeaned, feeling like you had your ego hurt. Instead, now I have a retort, I have a response that is also healthy, that will get me over this and actually handle the situation in a way that I feel still in control and I still get into the zone. Yes ladder. Yes ladder is actually a sales strategy. You get somebody to say yes to something small, bigger, 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 and you can do so many different forms of yes ladders. You can do a physical yes ladder where you get them to agree to something small, such as maybe moving to one side of the club to the other, maybe giving her your palm to read it if you're one of those mystery guys, I guess. Maybe it could be as simple as her introducing you to her friends. Maybe it could be as simple as you taking her to a bar, then taking her somewhere else, then taking her somewhere else, then taking her to a room, then her like saying yes to you having sex. That's a yes ladder. You can also do emotional yes ladders, or you can do, to be fair, I'm actually completely spacing on the other yes ladder. I haven't talked about this in a very long time, but yes ladders are powerful. And again, it's something that you can base an entire game style off of. It's something that's pretty powerful, to be fair. Avery actually brought this up with me. This was the one that I was kind of apprehensive about. I almost put into the tier below, but then Avery convinced me that this is actually a very powerful skill. It's something I don't usually do, which I have done a lot in the past. That it's a very effective strategy and it works really well. And I've known a lot of guys that are very good at this. One of them being Marcus from the YouTube channel, that one of my old friends from the RSD crew. We'd call his game the slippery slide. He had this game style that was like a slippery slide where the girl was just sliding all the way back to his room into his bed naked. Like that was his game style. It was just all based on yes ladders. So he was very good at this. And if you guys want to, yes, it is something that you guys can use. It's a very effective strategy. And the final one, and this is actually, in my personal opinion, one of the most powerful out of these, preselection. Preselection, I've known guys to set up mansions or places or events where they have a bunch of hot girls come to, and they will get the girls to chase them. I had a strategy of game for a long time where I would make a feeding frenzy in a club where I start making the girls fight over me, where I start pinning the girls against each other and they all start fighting over me, and then make this feeding frenzy energy, and they all would start getting crazier and crazier and doing these crazy things, trying to convince me to go home with them. And it's all because of preselection. If you guys do an environmental preselection, such as the ones I mentioned before, it does take some time to set up those kind of things. And yes, that is something that I've talked about in the past. And if you want to do it, yes, you can. Just make sure to be very empathetic in these situations. Be very caring towards the girls. I've seen a lot of these guys do these in Vegas, and they're not necessarily the most healthy-minded people that do these kind of strategies. And I've known these girls too. And it can cause a lot of, honestly, headaches for the guy. But if you want to build an entire game around preselection, there's so many guys who've done this, such as Adam Lyons, Luke Krogh did this, Michael Sartain. Dan Bilzerian actually has a preselection game. He does preselection game, and that's how he bases all of his game. It does take some time to build up, obviously, if you're going to do like that style. But if you want to do it in a club, you can pin girls against each other. I used to do this all the time, where I would maybe joke around and tease with the girl, and I'd be like, hey, actually, I'm going to go talk to my friends, and then I just go talk to a different girl, and I lean up against them, make it look from the outside in that she approached me. And then when the girl I'm actually into walks by, I make it look a lot more flirty instead of being friendly like I was before. Then the girl's like, oh my God, this guy's getting chased. And then she wants me for her. And then I use that to get chased again. Or maybe I'll pivot off her and I'll branch swing to another girl to go get a different girl because she saw me with another girl. So preselection is a very powerful skill. Girls go for guys that are liked by other women. Girls go for guys that are liked by other women. It makes sense. It's evolutionary, it's biology. If you really want to hack this, that's a powerful strategy and works like crazy. All right. So really quick, before I actually end the video, if you guys want me to do another one of these videos, definitely let me know, because there's so many different strategies and techniques we can definitely do. And I don't mind this because it's fun to talk about, honestly. Again, fundamentals, empathy always matters. It's very powerful. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I want to blow this channel up, and lately we've been up and down with views. It's been going pretty good lately. The business has been doing great. You guys have been incredible, but I want to blow the channel up at this point. I want to really put a lot of effort into this and make this into a very flourishing community. Now, help me out with that by liking the channel and commenting. Now, with that being said too, I am trying to fill the last spots on the January 1st bootcamp. If you guys are interested, it is 40% off. So let me know, message me at my phone number in the comment section below. And with that being said, peace. Yo, bitch, I got some buzzes clawing at my fucking stomach. I'm from the shadows.